Just social intervention.
That is true. But what has Professor Mills done with it? He has increased it by 50%. He has also added free school uniforms and school textbooks. And he has removed over 1,000 schools from under the trees. I know, for example, when I sent my son to school in Cape Coast last year, that practically every senior secondary school had one building, either a dormitory block or a classroom block, built last year to accommodate students. When the NPP decided that they will extend the period from 3 years to 4 years, they didn't make any preparation towards it. It was Professor Mills who had to come and create the groundwork for this to succeed. We must give him that benefit.
But they also talk about the capitation grant, that they introduced a capitation grant to make schooling accessible to people of poor parentage.
Yes, you left us and you have improved upon it.
How?
The capitation grant was how much? We have improved upon it. We have added a little bit more and widened the net. So many more people are enjoying it. We didn't say that it's because it's from the NPP we abandoned it. When we see what is good, that is one of the things I like about Professor Mills. He's not the sneering type of politician who says that because my enemy did it, I'm not going to use it. No, he's not like that. If he sees that there's some value, he will continue with it. And this is what he's doing.
But the NPP keeps talking about the fact that the affordable houses they started have been abandoned. And they think that is out of spite.
That's an interesting issue. Let's look at it with regard to even the roads they started. Now, most of these large-scale projects were hinged on Ghana government receipts. You see, so there was no money lying down there for any succeeding government to continue. And when President Mills took office in 2009, the coffers were virtually empty. So how do you continue with a project like that? And in any case, not too long ago, I heard the Minister for Works and Housing say that they were going to continue with those projects, just as they were going to continue with the Gang of Four Roads. So the people of Ghana have absolutely nothing to worry about. Let us just watch this man. I have confidence in him, and I believe that his government will bring out everything well.
But some of the manifesto promises have not been fulfilled.
That is an interesting issue because it is...
For example, the one-time premium payment for national health insurance.
As I said, that is an interesting issue. I've argued somewhere that manifestos are mere guidelines for determining the policies you carry out when you are elected into office. Most of the time, when you get into office, the picture may be slightly different. With all governments, not only in Ghana, you understand. But as a matter of fact, with regard to the one-time premium business, the last budget that was read, the Minister, Kwabena Dufo, announced that the first part of this exercise will be carried out next year. So we have every confidence that this will be done next year.
You appear very, very confident that Professor Mills is coasting to another victory.
Mr. Pratt, you are... I know that you are a sophisticated politician.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I know that you are a sophisticated politician. And I have said this several times. People do not vote for people because they've done this or they've done that or they will do that. There's one simple thing that Ghanaians look out for when they are voting. A lot of people haven't noticed. I have noticed it. Do they trust this particular person to handle their affairs well? At the moment, the people of Ghana trust Professor Mills, and I'll tell you why. He has brought them peace. We are living in a world of so much turmoil. We are living in a world of so much economic disorder. In spite of that, there's largely a sense of peace in this country. We are able to go about our lives in peace. And he is not the sort who is agitated by problems. He confronts them headlong. If he makes a mistake and you draw his attention, he will publicly come and acknowledge that, yes, I made a mistake. This is the sort of person we want. And I believe that I'm not alone in having this particular view. I am sure a lot of my compatriots share this view. That is why I'm confident that this man is coasting to victory next year.
But there are many problems in the National Democratic Congress.
Like what?
The criticisms of the founder, the founder's wife, the apparent disunity in the party, the fact that the communication team is not gelling, and so
on? Let me tell you, this one requires a certain answer, three-pronged answer. The first one is that I remember very well that you yourself, on the occasion of President Nkrumah's birthday this year, you asked a question which you didn't answer. And the question was, why is it that since 1966, the popularity of the CPP electorally seems to be reducing? You did not answer the question. I was watching you, I answered it. It is because the CPP was built around one person. And future leaders were not trained or groomed. So it's so difficult to sustain it. That's number one. Now, the founder of the NDC had that sort of position in the NDC. But that position has been shattered. July 9th, Sunyani, the people in the NDC said that, look, this time around, our boss is President Moss. Now, that in itself builds up the confidence of those who are also agitating to be leaders, because it means that at the appropriate time, you also can be a leader, and you will be in real charge of the situation. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, as I speak to you right now, I do not think that the founder and his wife will be agitating that much, because it's a little bit quiet. I don't know what is happening, to be fair, behind the scenes, but I think they're a little bit quiet. Probably they realize that their best bet is to belong under the umbrella. And that, after all, don't forget that the NPP was trying the first lady, Nana Konadu-Agyemang Rawlings. And I'm sure if she had been found guilty, she would have been thrown into jail. And all of us would have been embarrassed by that fact. But they were doing so. I do not see how President Moss would look into the face of President Rawlings and Mrs. Rawlings and try Mrs. Rawlings. It will never happen. So it is best for them to belong to the NDC. Now, having said that, you, as a journalist, are saying that the communication group of the NDC are having problems. Now, my answer to that is rather complex. When I was in the NPP, one of the things my brother and I used to agitate against was early Congress. And there were two reasons why we agitated against that one. Number one, when you insist on early Congress, you are actually telling the world that you are not interested in government. You are only interested in power. Because if you are interested in government, you permit a government in power to spend a long time in office, so you know the trend of development, its failures, and when you are coming in, you know exactly what to hammer on. After all, the United States is about 3.5 million square miles, with about 300 million persons. You will never know who will be the candidate of the opposing party until August of that election year. If I asked you in 2006 that in 2009 Obama will be president of America, would you have believed me?
No.
Certainly not.
Even a year before.
Yes, nobody. But yeah. in Ghana, we insist on early congresses. And that creates its own problems. Like you are saying that the communication group is not doing that well. I am telling you, they have nothing to do, because the election itself proper has not started. When the electioneering starts, say from about April going, then you will see who is the master of the field.
So we're going to take a short break.
Very well.
And when we come back, we will start with the problems of the communications group.
Very well.
And I'll bring a few examples for you to comment on.
Very well.
So viewers, we're taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation with Mr. Kakra Essamuah, a proud member of the National Democratic Congress.